Hey, it's your boy the Crypto Goon, and shout out to all my crypto goons for pulling up once again. XLM to $13. Now I know that is going to give the market cap boys the biggest woody that they've ever had. But let me actually make the case for you on why this is going to happen. So before we get to the chart, this is something that I talked about in my previous 3 videos. This video right here came out, okay? Now, this was a Russian senior advisor. He was at the Eastern Economic Forum, okay? And this video went semi-viral. It's almost got 1 million views, 657,000. And in the video, it's translated. They have a voiceover because he's speaking in Russian. He's making the case that Donald Trump and the Trump administration is using cryptocurrency to get rid of its $35 to $37 trillion debt that it owes, right? Now, for those that don't know, we have a main financial system, your main currency system, the dollar, right? The yen, just to name a few currencies that run on one system. Well, now we have a newer financial system, the blockchain, which is somewhat separate from this main financial system. Now, he's making the case saying, hey, they're going to use stable coins and altcoins to move the debt from the main financial system to the new financial system, pump and dump on everyone, therefore devaluing their debt and clearing their debt on the main financial system, therefore making the dollar a lot stronger. Okay. Now, a lot of people thought that this was Russian propaganda, but I actually did some research, and what he is saying is not wrong. Okay. If you actually look at the Genius Act, they are using stable coins, your Tether, your USDC, right, to purchase the debt, and they're bringing it onto the blockchain. So when you buy Tether, technically you're buying US debt or you're investing in US debt. Now, not directly, but it's indirectly. Those companies that own these stable coins are then taking your money and going to buy US debt. Okay. Now, the same is also happening with these cryptocurrencies. So I'll give you an example. The Doge ETF they're supposed to come out this week, they're supposed to come out last week. If you actually read the paperwork, when you buy that ETF, 20% of that money is being used to purchase United States debt. Okay. And it's the same thing for when you buy an XLM, right? When you buy an XRP, they have backdoor deals where if let's just say you spend $1,000, 800 of that you may actually be buying the coin, but the other 20% you're buying US debt. Okay. Now, currently the crypto market cap is $4 trillion. Okay. The US debt is 35 to 37 trillion dollars. Okay. So we're not quite there yet, but this is the reason why you see, for example, here, there have been 92 line items as far as the amount of ETFs that are coming. So you can see Bitcoin, Ethereum, baskets, Litecoin, Solana, Doge, XRP, right? Because they are trying to make the case or set up a scenario where, let's just say, for example, you have a 401k, you have a financial advisor. This opens up the door for them to start pushing more money into the blockchain where, okay, yeah, you may get some exposure to Dogecoin or XLM or XRP or Solana, but you are also, most people don't read. So you're also buying US debt and moving it, and it's being moved onto the blockchain without you knowing. Okay. So although we all want to see gains, one thing that I preach to everyone is take profits when you are, when you've have massive gains in the market, because technically you don't make money until you actually sell your position. So currently, the future of crypto, right? What's coming in the future is a massive, I guess you can call it a Ponzi scheme, right? Or a pump and dump, because they're trying to move that debt onto the blockchain and leave the people holding the bag. Okay. So that's the reason why you're seeing the push with banks, and a lot of these tech companies and being pushed into the blockchain so that they can have the money run that way. And when you buy these assets, right, you're buying US debt, and most people don't even know it. Okay. But that doesn't mean you can't make money, right? What I'm saying is don't look at this as something long term, because that crash is coming. the gentleman over in Russia, and again, this is the video right here. It's on the Economic Times YouTube channel. He believes that it will be in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, it could take longer, but we really don't know. But what I will say is the Trump administration and this Congress is working pretty quickly to adopt blockchain. Okay, and he says right here in the title, U.S. conspiring to dump debt into crypto. Putin aid drops shocker on America's $35 trillion debt. Right, and then as you can see this next video, why Russia and China view Trump's Genius Act as new currency war and biggest threat to global finance. And the reason why they are saying that is because they are moving the debt over, which will set America free on the original currency system, therefore strengthening the dollar, because the dollar, America will have no more debt. They will have dumped it on everybody else. Okay. Now, I just wanted to get that out the way. I know that the market cap boys say, hey, there's no way in hell possible, because what will happen is, again, we're at 4 trillion. So once the more money that comes in, the money will start to run down the line, right? So the top 100, you'll start seeing the market caps on these top 50 to 100 cryptocurrencies start to expand, okay? Because obviously people will want to get exposure to Bitcoin, Ethereum, but then you will also start seeing more exposure to the top 50, 100, expanding those market caps. Okay. And again, just like how we had, for those of you that are old enough, how we had the .com bubble, it was a very similar situation. We woke up and the majority of these companies went to zero. Okay. I will not be surprised if that happens again. He said 3 to 5 years. You know, they have way better intelligence and insider knowledge than we do. Again, it's something that is happening right now. Read the Genius Act. Look up your favorite stablecoin and see where they're allocating the money. You can actually look at these ETFs and see where that money is going. And it says in fine print that they are buying United States debt. Okay. So heading over to XLM. Now, currently we're trading at 38 cents or so. Now, the case for $13, $14 or so. Okay. Now, we use technical analysis to tell us when to get in. Okay. Technical analysis does not move the market. Obviously, money flowing in and out is what moves it. It is what it is. But this tells us when to get in and gives us possible price targets of when to get out. Okay. So I love to use a Fibonacci. Again, you can go look at on my trading view. You can look at my charts. This thing is like 80% accurate. The majority of my trades pan out because I also trade futures. I don't just buy the coins and hold them. I trade futures, take the money from futures because I can use leverage to make a lot more money and buy the coins without having to use other sources of income to buy these coins, which actually limits yourself. Okay. So currently the Fibonacci is reversed. Reversing the Fibonacci gives us a price target. Okay. So as you can see, the 141 is my first price target. Okay. Now, let me just show you all something on my trading view because, you know, I get a lot of hate even on trading view with these Fibonacci price targets. And I will actually show you one. So if I come over here to Solana, again, I posted this chart August 25th. Solana saying for a bullish move. So we're going to have a move down followed by a move up. And we're going to go to the 141 Fibonacci level. OK, press the play button. And where do we go? To the 141 Fibonacci level. OK, so I'm looking for the same thing to essentially happen over here on XLM. So as they start to move people or, you know, force people onto the blockchain and the market cap expands, the top 50 to 100 will all expand and it will probably happen quickly. OK, swift, right? A swift death, right? Most people really won't see it coming because everybody thinks that cryptocurrencies are stocks, right? You know, you buy a stock and you hold on to it for 25 years and you put X amount of money into this ETF and within 25 years or however long you'll be a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, whatever. Cryptocurrencies are a lot more volatile, okay? And especially with what they're doing, it is going to make it even more volatile. So it is going to be quick and swift, right? So one of the smartest things you can do, if you're up 300%, 800%, like take your money out, okay? Take your money out and invest it into something else because these things are not long-term, especially the way that they are using it. And don't get me wrong, these are some great technologies, but they are going to pretty much destroy a lot of people, you know, in order to push their agenda and to make what they want to happen. Okay. No government cares really about the people getting the shit into the stick. The way they look at it is you'll live, right? They don't care. These guys are multi-billionaires, billionaires, multi-millionaires. They don't care about the average person that has to wake up and go to work, or that even worked hard for the money, the little bit of money that they have. So that's why I'm making the case. Obviously, like I said, technical analysis gives us the win, where we should be entering the market and where we should be exiting the market. I can't tell you when, I can't tell you the exact day. I get that question a lot too. However, the price target, $13, and this is, you're not going to wake up in the morning and it's going to be $13. It's going to be gradually, right? We're going to, just like how we saw from XLM's inception, right? How we were way down here less than 1 cent, and then we came up, we were 5 cents. Then our highest high was, 93 cents or so, okay? And then we're going to keep pushing up. At some point, it'll be $1.50, $2, $5, $10, $13, right? That is where I'm comfortable exiting long term, okay? Again, this is not financial advice. We're talking about charting here. That's where I'm comfortable exiting long term. If it goes higher, cool, but that is when you are playing a game of roulette, okay? Because you also have to pay attention to the market cap. Again, we're at 4 trillion. So we got a little ways to go. They need 35 to 37 trillion. Even if they can get half, right? Half of that, right? If they can get 16, 17 trillion out and cut the US debt in half, it's a W for them, right? That strengthens the dollar. When you have a strengthening dollar, it pushes all other asset classes down. That includes your gold, that includes your real estate, that includes your stocks, right? So you really got to pay attention to how the stage is being set up and, educate yourself on it. Again, feel free to go and watch the video. There's other commentary out here the way you can watch it. You can also read the Genius Act. Okay. This is what he is saying is not propaganda. This is the 100% truth. Again, read the ETF filings. See when you buy those, when people buy those Bitcoins or Solana or XRP ETFs, you're technically trading your money for debt. Okay. But again, I appreciate you all tapping in. It's the Crypto Goon, the #1, never the 2. Shout out to all my goons. Crypto Goon out.